afternoon, wonderful listeners, and welcome to another refreshing edition of Health Monday on Sunsplash FM, Efonalaye, Ekiti State, where we bring you reliable and trusted health information that helps to empower and keep you healthy, happy, and of course, help you to live longer. My name is Precious, and as always, it's a pleasure for you to be with me this beautiful Monday afternoon. Welcome to a new week. I hope your weekend was a restful one, and I pray that this new week brings you a lot of peace, strength, good favor, good health, and favor in every ramifications of your daily life. So before we dive into today's topic, let me ask you a few questions. Have you ever smiled at people while secretly feeling broken inside? Have you gone to work? Have you attended church, gone to market, laughed with friends? Yet you felt so inside, you felt so lonely, you felt this sudden wave of sadness in you. Have you ever been able to sleep because your mind simply has refused to rest? Or perhaps you found yourself constantly worrying about money, your friends, your family, your health, your children, your future, or things that are probably beyond your own control. Maybe you have reached a point where you just wanted someone to genuinely ask you, how are you? So you could just tell the person, oh, this is how I feel this way, it's not been easy for me, or it's been that way. These experiences are something that many people do experience, yet only a few people talk about it openly. Today we're going to talk about mental health and why is it okay to ask for help. To my listeners at home, the ones that joined me on our YouTube page or our Facebook page, or you're listening to us on Radio Garden, it's Health Monday on Sunsplash FM, Ifonalaye, Ekiti State. And I'm talking about mental health. Why is it okay to ask for help? I remain your host, Precious Obot. Now, some people think that when you talk about mental health, it's basically to the mad people that are walking on the streets or the people that are behaving strangely. But it's not that. It's totally not true. Mental health concerns every person, every single one of us, whether you are a farmer, you are a trader, you are a teacher, you are a student, you are a civil servant, a mechanic, a mother, a father, or even a child. You definitely have mental health. Just like every one of us has a physical health, we have a mental health. Now think about it this way. When your body becomes weak, what do? You take a rest, you take medicine, you visit the hospital for regular checkup. Nobody laughs at you for catching malaria. Nobody laughs at you saying you are weak, that you have typhoid, or that you have a particular infection. Nobody says you are weak because you have a particular infection. Nobody blames you for having high blood pressure. Some encourage you to seek treatment. But when an illness affects the mind, many people tend to keep quiet. Many people pretend that everything is okay. They force themselves to smile. They hide their pain while going through their daily activities. Why is it so? Because the society has made many people to believe that asking for help is a sign of weakness. But today we are going to change that mindset, because asking for help is not weakness. Asking for help is wisdom. It is courage. It is you taking a bold step for a better mental health. And sometimes asking for help can even save a life. So while you're listening from the comfort of your home, whether you're at home preparing your soon to your dinner, whether you're already on your way back from work, here in your market stand, or you are still at work, in your shop driving, or you're just simply relaxing, stay with us. This conversation can help you or someone you love. So let's start with what exactly is mental health. What exactly is mental health? The World Health Organization describes mental health as a state of being well in which a person realizes their ability and can cope with normal stresses of life, work productivity, and contribute to their community. Now, the definition might sound a little bit formal, so let's make it simple. Mental health simply means that you have a good and right proper health of mind. It's how you feel, it's how you think, it's how you react to situation, it's how you manage stress, it's how you solve problem, it's how you are able to treat other people, it's how you're able to make decisions, and even how you see yourself. In fact, your mental health influences every decision you make every single day. For example, imagine you waking up after a good night's rest. You feel refreshed, you feel energetic, you feel hopeful. Someone greets you in the morning and you smile back. You go to work, you perform your duties well, you return home satisfied. Your mind is totally at rest and it is calm. Now, compare with another day. You wake up feeling exhausted because you slept late, you don't even know why, or probably you know why. You don't feel like talking to anybody, someone's greets you and you ignore them. At work, little things annoy you. Sometimes someone makes a very harmful joke and suddenly you are angry, you are irritated, you can't concentrate, your mind keeps wandering. When you get home, you feel unhappy, nothing seems enjoyable anymore. Now ask yourself, what has changed? Many times it isn't your body, it's your mind. So yes, definitely your mental health affects how you experience life. Many of us spend a lot of us taking care of our physical appearance. We tend to buy new dresses, use skincare products, register for the gym, eat fruit, take medication when we are sick, and often we ask ourselves, how is my mind doing? How am I feeling mentally? Think about everything that the average person do every day: taking care of bills, family responsibilities, school fees, business challenges, relationship issues, job pressure, health concern, loss of a loved one, unanswered prayers, financial struggles, and of course the fear of the future, and many other more things. All these things place a heavy load on the mind. It keeps your mind wandering, it keeps your mind bothered, and you're just like carrying an heavy bag every day, and you are wondering, when is someone going to put this bag off my shoulder? When am I going to drop this bag? Many people ignore the warning of, instead of resting, they keep pushing. Instead of talking to someone, they keep suffering silently. Instead of seeking help, they pretend that everything is totally fine, but the mind has limits. Just as the body can become sick, your mind can become so overwhelmed and shy away from associating with people. And there is absolutely nothing shameful about that. Now, here's something that may surprise you. Mental health challenges are far more common than most people realize. You may be sitting at the comfort of your home or even sitting next to someone who is struggling. The trader selling vegetables to you in the market may be struggling. Your neighbor greeting you every morning with smiling faces may be struggling. Your teacher at school coming in to give you lectures and give you doing the class sections may be struggling. Every healthcare worker, every radio presenter may be struggling with their own mental health. The challenge is more of an emotional pain that cannot be seen or felt easily. If someone breaks their leg, everybody notice, everybody can see the wound, everybody can see a bandage tied around that place, but emotional wounds are very invisible. Someone can smile all day, make a lovely joke, dance at party, post happy pictures online, update their status that, oh, they're feeling very okay and they're feeling pretty good, yet they go home feeling completely empty. That is why we should never assume that someone is okay because simply they are wearing a big smile or because they seem to look okay. Many people are fighting battles that nobody knows about. This is one of the reasons why kindness is very important. A kind word, a simple greeting, a simple phone call, a visit. Sometimes this small act of kindness can make a very big difference than we tend to realize. If you're just joining us now, it's Health Monday on Tori Tuesday, or Health Monday on Sunsplash FM, Ifonalaye, Ekiti State, and I'm your host Precious Subut. And today we are talking about mental health. Why is it okay to ask for help? Now, listeners, you may be asking yourself, how do I recognize the sign? One of the biggest reasons why people don't seem to get help is because they don't realize that there's something wrong with them. Many people think to say, probably I'm just tired from the day's activities, or it's just stress. Sometimes it is stress, but sometimes it's something deeper than just the original stress. It's sometimes deeper than the stress that has been building up for weeks, or of course for months. It's something that needs proper attention. The human body is very interesting. When you are angry, your stomach tells you. When you are hungry, your stomach tells you. When you are tired, your body tells you. When you have malaria, you develop fever and, of course, body pains. In the same way, your mental health is under pressure. Your mind also sends signals. The problem is that many of us actually ignore those signals. And so let's look at some of those signals. One is constant sadness. Everyone feels sad from time to time. That is completely normal. If you lose money, you feel sad. You lose a loved one, you're definitely going to feel sad. If someone disappoints you, you may actually cry. If you lose a loved one, grief is a natural response. So yes, there are tendencies for you to feel sad. But imagine waking up every morning with an heavy heart, not because something happened that day, but simply because you feel empty. You feel tired. You feel like, oh, I cannot keep surviving this day. I cannot keep going this way. You no longer enjoy listening to music. You no longer enjoy chatting with friends. You no longer enjoy hanging out with them. Even your favorite food doesn't make you happy. You laugh because people expect you to, not because you actually want to. That sudden kind of wave of sadness deserves attention. It doesn't mean you are weak. It doesn't mean you are ungrateful. It just means that your emotional well-being may need proper attention and care. Another thing is losing interest in things you want love. For example, I said in the first reason that you don't enjoy listening to music again, you don't enjoy hanging out with friends, you don't enjoy doing a lot of things that you know that, oh, you definitely used to enjoy doing this thing, you don't not enjoy doing it again. So yes, second reason is losing interest in things you once loved. Think back to something you genuinely enjoyed. Maybe you love singing in the church choir. Maybe you enjoy watching football every weekend. Maybe you love cooking for the family. Maybe you enjoy spending time with your friends, your grandchildren, or of course your children. Now imagine gradually losing interest in those things because you are busy. It's not really that. It's not really because you are busy. It's not really because you are tired, but because you simply don't have the motivation anymore. Someone will say, oh, I don't have the vibes for this thing anymore, but you haven't given it a proper thought and attention. If what is actually wrong, why is this person having less interest in this particular thing? So many people describe it as saying, I just don't feel like doing it, I just don't want to do it. This is not more like laziness. Sometimes it's your mind crying out for help. Another way to recognize the signs is sleeping too much or not sleeping at all. I know a lot of people know that, oh, to get proper rest is good, it's very chill, it's okay to sleep and get your strength and everything. But let's talk about sleep in a more deep way. Sleep is one of God's gifts to the human body. It helps us to recover physically and mentally. But have you ever noticed that when you are deeply worried, the sleep becomes difficult? You lie on the bed, you close your eyes, but your mind refuses to rest. You began thinking, how will I pay for this? How will I do this? Oh, for example, you just lost a loved one. The grief sets in and you're like, oh, how am I going to survive with this person? How am I going to survive without this person? How am I going to survive living this life and everything? Before you know it is 2 p.m., it is 2 a.m., it is 3 a.m., and then suddenly morning comes and you feel exhausted before the day even begins. On the other hand, some people sleep almost all the day because they want to escape their worries. Yes, a lot of people will like, I cannot sit and be thinking of this particular thing. For example, you got laid off from your job, or you lose the job, or you were not able to make it to a particular segment of an interview session. You feel sad, you feel that natural wave of sadness coming through, and you just want to sleep it all day because you don't want to sit up and think. You feel if you sit up, you may be thinking too much. So yes, let me sleep it off. I mean, I'm going to be perfectly okay. So yes, on the other hand, some people sleep off because they want to escape their worries. Neither extreme should be ignored. None of it should be ignored. Another way to recognize it is constant worry and anxiety. Have you ever worried about something that hasn't ever happened? You just imagine the possible outcome, the possible worst outcome. You tell yourself, what's the possible worst outcome? What could happen? I mean, if things are already going this way, what's the worst that could happen? You keep asking yourself, what if everything goes wrong? What if I fail? What if something terrible happens? Sometimes your heart beats faster, you start to have tremors, that is involuntary body shaking. You feel reckless, you can't focus, you feel like something bad is definitely going to happen, even when there is no immediate danger. This is how anxieties and what anxieties can feel like. Now, everybody worries sometimes, that's the part of life, that's basic part of life, just like everyone sleeps. Yes, definitely, everyone has to worry sometimes. But when the worry become constant and something that keeps reoccurring and it begins to affect your daily life, it may be time to seek for support or to seek for attention. Another way to recognize it is anger over small things. A little thing triggers you, a little thing makes you feel irritated, a little thing gets you upset, a little thing gets you annoyed. Have you ever noticed someone who suddenly becomes angry over the smallest issue? Perhaps a child accidentally spills water and the parents explode with rage. They just suddenly fumes up. Or someone greets them politely and they respond harshly. Or sometimes people tend to call them temperamental people or hot tempered people, but occasionally when we see what we see as anger is actually emotional exhaustment. Think of it like a balloon. If you keep blowing air into the balloon without letting any out, eventually it will burst. Human beings are similar. With stress, disappointment, frustration, and emotional pain keeps building up without healthy ways to release them. Many people start reacting differently. This is why we should be slow to judge and quick to show compassion. At some point, someone listening may be asking herself, Precious, aren't these just normal stresses of life? That's a very good question. Yes, stress is a normal part of life. Just like I said, sleeping is a normal part of life. If you're preparing for examination, you would definitely feel stress. If you're preparing for a wedding, you're planning for a wedding, you feel pressured. If you're just starting a new business, don't worry. You're bound to feel intense anxiety, or of course you're bound to feel stressful and tiring. But mental health challenge often lasts much longer. At least we know that if you are preparing for your exam, you're planning a wedding, you're starting a new business, this the stress that comes with it, you are not going to stay around for long. But mental health challenges is actually something that stays longer. They may continue even after the events or whatever made you feel that way has finished. They may begin to affect your work, your relationship, your appetite, your sleep, your ability to enjoy life. That is when it's important not to ignore what you are experiencing. Now, listeners, let's talk honestly. Why do some people or many people continue suffering without asking for help? The answer is very simple, because many of us have been taught that we should never admit that we are struggling. Some say it's a sign of weakness, some say it's a sign of you don't have courage or something. Many people grow up hearing statements like, be strong, real men don't cry, stop being emotional, people have bigger problems, just endure, don't let anybody know your problem. Over time, people begin believing that hiding their pain is a sign of strength, but hiding pain doesn't make it disappear. Imagine having a deep wound on your leg. Would covering it with your trouser make it heal? Of course, no. If anything, it may become infected because it's being ignored. Our emotional wounds are no different. Ignoring them will only make it worse over time. Some people also have the fear of being judged. That is one of the biggest barrier that asking for help is fear. People will ask themselves, what will people think of me? What will people say? They'll say I'm weak, they'll laugh at me, they'll think I've lost my faith. Of course, they'll definitely gossip about me. But unfortunately, this fear stops many people from getting the help they want. So listeners, let's remember something important. When someone has diabetes, we encourage them to see a doctor. When someone has malaria, we encourage them to take treatment. When someone is emotionally struggling, we encourage them to speak up in case there is possible ways to help the person. So why should emotional struggles be treated differently? The brain is a part of the body too. If your mind needs help, there is no shame in seeking for it. Another misconception is that every mental health challenge is a punishment from God or a result of lack of faith. Faith can be a tremendous source of strength, comfort, and hope. I mean, many people find peace through prayer and their relationship with God. At the same point, seeking help from a doctor, psychologist, counselor, or if a therapist, or even a qualified mental health professional does not mean that your faith is weak. Think about it in this way. Think when you have a malaria, many people pray and also they take prescribed medicine. When you break a bone, you may pray for healing and also go to a hospital so the bone can be set properly. In the same way, someone who is struggling emotionally can pray, lean on their faith, and also seek for a professional healthcare support. These approaches can work together and help you improve better. So sometimes, yes, sometimes God answers prayer through the wisdom and care of our healthcare professional. Kudos to all of them out there. We're going on a short break, and when we return after this short music break, we'll discuss one of the important parts of today's program. How do you ask for help? Who should you talk to? What should you say? And if someone confides in you, what is the right way to respond? Don't go away. We'll be right back after this short music break. Welcome back to Health Monday on Sunsplash FM, Ifonalaye, Ekiti State. I'm Precious, and today's discussion is one that I believe is everything, something that everyone needs to hear. Our topic is mental health, while it's okay to ask for help. If you're listening from the beginning, thank you for staying with us, and if you're just joining us, thank you. So don't worry, I think you joined the most important part of the conversation. Earlier we talked about the mental health, what it really means. We also discussed some signs that may be showing that someone is struggling emotionally, and we explore many other reasons why people choose to suffer in silence, because they are afraid of being misjudged or misunderstood. Now let's talk about something more practical. When life becomes overwhelming, when your mind seems heavy, when you have tried to carry everything alone, what should you do? Now, asking for help is a sign of strength, not weakness. A lot of people think that, oh, I cannot ask for help because I will feel less of myself, or I'll feel weak and whatnot. Supposing you are carrying a heavy bag of cement on your head, at first you might manage, but after a while your neck will begin to ache, your back start hurting, and your legs become very weak. You continue because you don't want people to think that you are weak. Then suddenly you collapse. Now ask yourself, wouldn't it be wiser if you had asked someone to help you with a load before you collapse? I mean, we all say prevention is better than cure. So you should have prevented the collapse from happening if you had asked someone for an helping hand. This is exactly what happens when a lot of people are emotionally stressed, which leads to them being mentally drained. They carry stress, financial problems, family responsibilities, in relationship disappointments, health challenges, work pressure, grief, fear of the future, one burden after another. Instead of asking for help, they keep saying, I'll be fine, I'll manage, I'll sell through, I don't want to disturb anyone, I don't want people to think that I'm weak. But the truth is, no human being are created to carry every burden alone. Even the strongest people need support sometimes. There is a popular African saying that when spider webs unite, they can tie up a lion. So the lesson is simple. We become stronger when we support one another. So who can you talk to? Sometimes people ask, who exactly should I talk to? The answer depends on the situation. It could be a trusted family member, it could be a close friend, it could be your spouse, that's your husband or your wife, it could be a mature sibling, a respected elder, a counselor, a therapist, a doctor, or a trained mental health professional, a trusted religious leader who is supportive and understands what you truly passing through and knows how to encourage you in a professional way. The important thing is to speak to someone who understands and listen with compassion, to who also respects your privacy and encourages you with the right help needed. So if you don't have to tell the whole world your problem, but you shouldn't carry them all alone. And you might be wondering, what if no one understands me? What if nobody seems to understand me? That's another question that many people ask themselves. What if people don't understand what I'm going through? I mean, before you are supposed to understand this, you should be in my shoes, you should be also experiencing that particular type of pain. This can happen. Sometimes the first person you talk to may not know what to say. They may not even, they may respond poorly. That doesn't mean that your feelings are not valid. It doesn't mean that they don't see through what you are passing through. It simply just means that you need to speak with someone else. So please don't conclude that because one person did not understand me totally, nobody will. Keep reaching out to trusted people. There are people who genuinely care, and there are professionals whose work is to help people through difficult moments. And remember, if you ever feel that this stress is becoming overwhelming, or you are having thoughts of harming yourself, or of course suicidal thoughts, seek immediate help from a trusted person, talk to a person, and a healthcare professional, or your nearest emergency medical service. Of course, you deserve support, you deserve to be heard, and you deserve to be understood. Another question people ask is how can we support someone who is struggling? I mean, someone comes to me and tells me, "Oh, I'm feeling this particular way. I've been this way for the past time." Sometimes someone comes and says to you, "I'm not okay. What should I do?" Many people genuinely want to help, but unfortunately, they don't know how to go about it. They don't know how to do it. For example, someone says, "I've been feeling sad lately." And the response is, "Stop thinking too much. You are overreacting." Others have bigger problem. You are just looking for attention. This statement may seem harmless, but to someone that is really struggling and needed someone to come up with a listening ear and an understanding, instead you need to try saying, "I'm sorry you are going through this. Let's see how we can get some help." Sometimes people don't need you to solve their problem. They simply just need to know that someone cares. Someone is there, how I feel. Sometimes the greatest gift can just be because you've given someone your full attention, not your advice, not your opinion, just your willingness to listen to that person. Have you ever noticed how kind words can change someone's entire day? Imagine a woman who is struggling financially for months. She goes to the market, someone smiles warmly and says, "Good morning, hope you're doing well." It may seem like a little greeting, a form of courtesy, a form of respect. One cause not sending a text message saying, "I just wanted to know how you're doing." Someone that they are not alone, they are not forgotten. So let's make it a habit to check on one another, not only when people are celebrating, not only when they post beautiful pictures of themselves, but especially when they become unusually quiet. Sometimes silence speaks louder than words. Now let's end today's discussion with some practical habits that can help protect your mental well-being. These are not magic solutions, but they can help make a real difference over time. Get enough rest. People wear sleepless nights like a badge of honor. They say, "I can only sleep for 3 hours. I don't need or I don't have time to rest." But your body and mind needs to rest. Getting enough sleep helps to improve concentration, your mood, your ability to cope with stress. Another way is to talk about your feelings. You don't have to bottle every way is to talk about your feelings. You don't have to bottle everything up alone. If something is troubling you, speak to someone you trust. Keeping every emotion inside doesn't make you stronger. It often makes the burden heavier. Take care of your body, your mind, and your body works together. Eat balanced meals when you can. Drink enough water. Exercise regularly. Even a short walk can help. They don't usually post the struggle behind the moment. If you tend to compare your everyday life with someone else post and highlight reels, you always feel like you are behind. So run your own race. Your joining is definitely different. Celebrate your own little progress, celebrate your little wins, even if it seems so small. Make time for things that bring you joy. Listen to music, Take a stroll, take a walk, spend time with your loved ones, pray or meditate if that is part of your faith. Enjoy more. Before we round up, important as your physical health, seeking for help is a sign of courage, not weakness. Be kind, you never know when someone is passing through a lot. Listen more and judge less. Make time to rest and take care of yourself. Check up on your friends, family, neighbors, and of course your colleague at work. If you're struggling emotionally, don't suffer in silence. Reach out to someone professional or an healthcare professional. As we've come to the end of today's edition of Health Monday, I would like to leave you with this Health Monday. I would like to leave you with these thoughts. Imagine your life as a house. Every day you sweep the floor, you wash the plates, you repair broken windows, you fix leaking roof. Why? Because you know that if you ignore these little problems, they can become larger ones. And mind deserve the same care, so don't wait until you have become completely exhausted before paying attention to your mental health. Don't wait until the stress has stolen your joy. Don't wait until loneliness convinces you that nobody cares. Take care of your mind every day, and if life becomes heavy, please remember this: you do not have to carry it alone. There are people who will listen, and there are people who want to see you get better. So everyone listening this afternoon, I want you to remember these simple words: your life matter, you matter, your feelings matter, and of course your mental health matters.